What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about what is the fastest way that you can get rich in the United States of America. First of all, let's have this conversation. There's a lot of people with the misguided notion, and I'm going to explain to you why this notion is so popular, that they can invest in the stock market and get rich relatively quickly. Let me share a story with you. There was a guy on the Wall Street bets, and he bought $25 million worth of Bed Bath & Beyond stock, and it shot up and he made like $125 million. Okay, let's go ahead and take that apart. He was able to raise $25 million to speaking to friends and family, which tells me that he comes from a very high net worth background. Further, like, hey, can I get $2 million to invest into this stock market strategy? And it's like, sure, here it is. All right. He had 25 million to begin with. He did not have 10,000. He did not have 100,000. He had $25 million to begin with. And this is one of the things that people seem to don't want to listen to because it destroys their fancy dreams. That you can take a $500 Forex account and turn it into millions and millions and millions of dollars. Do you think that these banks, Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America, and their trading desk, you think they're starting off with $50 or $100 or $100? They're playing with hundreds of millions to get the returns that they're getting. So if you're one of the people who feel that you can invest in the stock market and get rich or wealthy in 2 to 3 years, this isn't the channel for you. I think you're sipping on some clown sauce because the real numbers, time and time again, show that yes, you can get rich in the stock market, but it's going to take time and investment. And this is where we come to this conversation. Let me share a story with you. Many years ago, I started a business, and in 8 months, this business put $250,000 into my business checking account. And I had a job at the time, and I kept my job. So after taxes, I had like $300,000 in the bank. I was just a salesman, and I started my first business. And this was the eye-opening thing for me because that money gave me seed money to start other businesses in the future. And then I had that business and I was in the storage auction business. And let me be 100% clear. I never became a millionaire in the storage auction business. You want to start a business, you want to set up a holding company, an operating company. You want to get yourself some business credit. You want to learn how to run a business. You want to start your first online business. If you want to do that, and congratulations to you for being a person that wants more out of life, for being that person that's ready to sit down, do the work so your future can be brighter. I got some for you. Go below and enter into the Corporate Citizen Playbook, where we teach you all of that plus a lot more, because you are not a normal, regular person. You want more out of life. You want to do more. You want to be more. You want to have more. And congratulations to you. So this link is below. Go ahead and check out this video, and then go ahead and enroll in the Corporate Citizen Playbook, where I teach you some things that you cannot Google. Can't Google it. Can't Google it at all. I had a very high income. I had some assets. I had 2 houses at one point. But let me go ahead and explain to you what happened to me that literally changed my life. So, sad news here. My business partner, Francine, she was diagnosed with colon cancer, and we lost her. You know, she hung on as long as she could. That just kind of took the taste out of my mouth about the storage auction business. I couldn't see doing that business with no one else but her. So I was sitting there recovering. I was like, you know what? My first dream was to be a writer. So I'm gonna write a book. So I started writing a relationship book. And I was about halfway done, and I got into the point where I had a we're going to meet Jesus meeting. And I was like, Steve Harvey, Hill Harper, there was another guy, all had the single guys except for Steve Harvey, and I actually know the girl who wrote the book for him. I didn't want to be a relationship book writer as a single man. I just didn't. So fast forward, I wrote a book about storage auctions, and I created a blog about storage auctions, and I created a YouTube channel about storage auctions. Book, blog, YouTube channel. What is this called? Intellectual property. And within 3 years, I made $62,000 my first year. I made $92,000 my second year. In my third year, I made $1.6 million my third year. Now, I did have some help. This didn't happen because I was just posting on my blog and YouTube. What happened was there was these shows, 1, 2, 3 shows about storage auctions. And these shows would come on, and whenever they would run multiple episodes, I would wake up to $10,000 to $20,000 into my merchant account. I was like, it was the greatest thing ever. So that just taught me a lot, because I didn't make that kind of money in the storage auction business. And this is the message that I want to get to you guys. With the proper training, with the right business, with the right execution, you can become a millionaire. I'm going to say in 3 to 7 years with a business. Jeff Bezos became a billionaire in 7 years with Amazon. 7 years. Kylie Jenner, I don't think she's a billionaire, but she made hundreds of millions of dollars, and she's like 24, 25, something like that. And then you will look, and let's go ahead and talk about someone you haven't heard. You've heard of the musical artist Herb Alpert, right? He's got this song, Rise. It's real funky. Guess how much money Herb Alpert is worth? Just take a wild guess. It'll blow your mind. He's worth $850 million. The man is like 80-some years old. He still performs. He's worth $850 million. Why? When Herb Alpert and his partner, they owned a record label, and they sold that record label for $500. They felt they were kind of cheated, so they sued the company and got another $350 million. Lionel Richie is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Whenever you look at these celebrities who are worth a lot of money, you have to go back and look at the business aspect. Rihanna, did Rihanna become a billionaire because of her music? No, she didn't. She started Savage Fenty, I think. That made her a billionaire. Dr. Dre, did he make billions of dollars from his music? No. He came out with Beats by Dre and sold it to Apple. You just see it if you're willing to open your eyes and look at the information on the table. Starting a business is the fastest way that you can become a millionaire. And once again, from my standpoint, I feel it's the best way to become a millionaire, because I'm about to share some with you. I used to post on my other YouTube channel a lot of receipts. And one day I posted how much money I had in the bank account. And I'll explain to you why I'm not going to do that here. And people started like, that's too much money to have in the bank. That was all of the express, like, oh, I would need to invest that money. I would need to invest that money. And I was just sitting there like, what is it? Then I started asking some certain kind of questions like, what is your net worth? How much money do you have? They wouldn't answer. You want to know why? Because they were ashamed. They didn't have that much money. And I have learned, because I used to post receipts. I used to post, I had a car rental business. I used to post my car titles. And the more and more that I posted proof of my thesis, and my thesis is for an individual to become wealthy, rich is $250,000, wealthy is, let's just go ahead and call it $5 million. It's to start a successful, scalable business. And I showed all of these receipts. I shared a lot of stuff. And this is why I'm not going to do here. I'll share certain things with you. But when you share your thesis, you share your body of work. You can Google me. You can go to Amazon. You'll see I've got like 12 books written. I've actually done things in life. I'm not talking about snap your fingers and money just comes out of nowhere. No, you have to do something. You have to do things. And one of the things I have learned, and I've talked about this before, is when you're really, really successful, people will hate you. They will hate you. They will find any reason to come at you, any reason to start talking about anything. Anytime you make a little mistake, oh, you made a mistake, because they feel unworthy. So I will share things here, but once again, this is my thesis. The fastest way that you can become wealthy in these United States of America is to start a business. It happened to me. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the buildup. What did I do before I wrote the book, started the YouTube channel, started the blog? I spent 10 years in the storage auction business. So I was out there gathering my intellectual property to put into a book and to put into a YouTube channel and to create a blog. So this is not something you can, once again, snap your fingers and you're going to get wealthy. But, this is another reason. Because once again, I'm not going to be showing any bank accounts because people would lose their minds to know that I had that much money in the bank. You should be investing it. Let's talk about that. Why do you think that everyone is talking about you should be investing your money? I was reading this article about this CPA who keeps no cash in the bank. He invests every money. Let me explain to you why. Number one, when you're used to having money, I'm used to going to the bank and pulling out money out the bank and seeing 7 figures on the receipt. One of the things that I used to do that was a little petty, very, very petty, I would just kind of leave the receipt on the ATM machine so somebody could come there and be like, good Lord. I don't do that anymore. That was just very petty. But I am used to having money. I've grown accustomed to having money. And my personal checking account, because once again, I'll talk about, I keep my money separated. My money is in a bank account that doesn't have checks, doesn't have an ATM card. There's a reason. These accounts have never done business with anyone. You would have to actually have my password, and actually that won't help you. You can have my password and you can have my user ID, and the bank will still make you verify before they let you in. So I feel pretty safe with my money, but the accounts that I have 7 figures in, those are my reserve accounts. In my personal accounts, which I have a checking account and I have a debit card, I have 6 figures in there. And I'm used to seeing 6 figures. I've been seeing 6 figures in one account, 7 figures in an account for years. So I'm used to having money and holding on to money. Very, very important. Now, this account, he doesn't make that much money, because anytime you have someone who has to immediately invest this money, that's a sign that they do not make that much money. Why? I'll share a story with you. I was dating this girl. She was a nurse anesthetist, which is like the nursing version of an anesthesiologist. Beautiful girl. We're dating and we're just out talking. And I noticed that she didn't have female problems. She was never broke or complained or talked about money. And one night, we got pretty close. We almost moved in together. And one night we were just sitting there talking and, she just said, oh, I got $300,000 in my checking account. Why did she have $300,000 in her checking account? At the time we were dating, I think she was making $200K and she would work extra. And the money, because see, here's the thing, because she was making so much money just stacked up. And I remember this because when I started my first business and I had my 6-figure job, even though I was spending money to live, I made so much money, it just stacked up. And I've talked to many people in similar situations. When you're an average, regular person without high consumption tactics, and you make a lot of money, it just stacks up. And she was like, I don't know what to do with it. And we just started talking. I said, well, you could probably invest it. You could probably do this. Maybe you could buy some real estate. Because here's the thing, when you make a lot of money and you're a normal person, it stacks up. But if you've got to invest every penny, you cannot hold on. You can't see yourself having 6 figures or 7 figures in the bank. Let me tell you why. Your money comes in slow. 2020, I made $3 million in about 8.5 months. Money was flying in. Best year ever. And one of the things that I've observed was, even though I was spending money, money was coming in so fast, it just stacked up. So anytime you're talking to someone, it's like, oh, I invest every penny. Grant Cardone. I have a love-hate relationship with Grant Cardone. There's the early Grant Cardone and there's this Grant Cardone now. The early Grant Cardone used to save money like a madman. Because when you get into commercial real estate, you have to put down significant money, like 25%. You have to have that money. But Grant has multiple businesses. So, he's very, very wealthy from all of his businesses and stuff. But the stuff that he puts out, like, you shouldn't invest money, you should take all your money. If you're an average, regular person, you can invest every little spare dime you have and you still will never become a millionaire because you don't have enough capital to invest. It's just not going to happen. Hands down, the fastest way to become a millionaire is to start a successful business. And this is something that can happen, I would say, within 3 to 7 years. Now, let's go ahead and talk about becoming a millionaire. What does that look like? What does that look like? When I became a millionaire, end of 2011, going to 2012, I had, after taxes, I had $1 million in the bank, cash money, which is very, very rare. So for you to become a millionaire in a business, you will need to have, in my viewpoint, significant cash, or you need to have a business that you can sell for millions. And one of the reasons that you'll be able to sell your business for millions, if your business makes millions. You have a business that's making $30 million a year, year after year after year, that's a business you can sell. But if you just have like this fantasy business that it really isn't selling that much, there's not a lot you can sell that for. So for me, my millionaire status comes from having a lot of disposable cash and having a business that makes 7 figures. So once again, I feel you set up a business. Once again, if you're looking and you're willing to accept the information, you will see it over and over and over again. All these people got super rich from businesses. And you can start a business and become a millionaire very, very quickly. And like I said, I'm not 60 years old. That's like in the future. And I'm going to tell you, it's a lot more fun to become rich when you're younger and to take the vacations, to enjoy life, to have the house, have the cars. That's a whole lot of fun. So the choice is up to you. Do you want to be rich when you're young, or do you want to be possibly rich through investing, possibly when you're 65 years old? What do you want to do? If you want to be rich while you're young, go below, get into the corporate citizen playbook. Teach us up a holding company, operating companies, business credit. I got some business credit information in there that you can't Google. You want to know why you can't Google it? Links below. You want to know why? Because they're not doing it. I actually have holding companies, bank accounts, business credit, large lines of credit. I have $50,000 credit cards. Actually, it's posted in the community section. I got a $125,000 loan from QuickBooks. So this isn't something that I just talk about. These are things that I actually do. And if you want to get this information, go below, check out the Corporate Citizen Playbook. Get into that. We have a one and done, and we have a monthly payment plan, and there's so much you can learn. The link's below. It should be in the first comment. All right, my name is Glendon Cameron. That's all I got for you guys. I will see you in the next video.